Howdy out there, everybody. Hi, Pro. How's it going lately? First, chapter your first today. Yeah. So, anyway, I hope everybody's out. I forgot my hat, didn't I? Just 1 minute. I'll go get my hat. Right, hat's on. Yeah. So, what's up, folks? Yeah, we got MicroOS on tap today. Show installing using it, hopefully. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. Sometimes these things don't always go as planned, so what can you do? Do the best you can, I guess. So anyway, welcome, and yeah, this is gonna be interesting, I think, because I did a previous uh, live stream on MicroOS. But I just kind of installed it on the fly. I researched a little bit, but I didn't really understand it. It had Toolbox at the time, not Distrobox, stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't really quite. Kind of hard for me to grasp my head around some of the concepts of containerized and immutable systems, what they're for, that kind of thing. But I think I learned a lot lately. I want to update everybody on that and show a few other extra tips I've learned, that kind of thing. So anyway, we'll get started here in a second. Well, I've got some coffee here today. I love you like a hobbit loves second breakfast cup. Got that for Christmas this year, or last year actually. Oh, Peruvian coffee there. And let's see what we got going on here. So today we're going to do an update and make a couple of corrections on my previous live stream on MicroOS, which would have happened about 4 months ago, sometime around mid-September 2022. I've learned and used a lot more. Okay, so anyway, MicroOS, what is it? Well, it's the unique thing about it, or one of the unique things about it, I guess. It's not totally unique, but it is sort of unique, I guess. It's a mutable file system. There's others like Silverblue, Fedora Silverblue, and others like that out there that are also immutable. But we're looking at MicroOS today to see how you can use it. I know how to use that one pretty much now. So yeah. Anyway, we've got that, and we've got what's an immutable file system, you might ask. Well, immutable file system, let's see, I'm getting my definition over here. I don't have a definition. Okay, well, immutable file system, basically a file system, the basic core file system, your everything in root directory before you get to home is immutable. That means it can't change it other than updates and system updates and things like that that are built into the system to update it. So it's kind of hard to really go in there and screw up your system that way. That's a good thing about it. The bad thing about it is you have to figure out how to do certain things that will make your system work better. So, add NVIDIA drivers. If you have to install an NVIDIA driver, you have to do a special way, a different way than you normally would. Yeah. Or you have to get into a different situation where you can install it differently. Anyway, that's a mutable file system. We'll get into all that here in a minute, but yeah. And then we may as well. Oh, I have it right there. There's my definition. Immutable file system uses containerized apps. What MicroOS is. So what's containerized app, you asked? Glad you asked. Containerized app is an app that's all containered. That makes any sense. Basically, it's like the app is in its own little shell, own little container. It can't really get out except in certain limited ways. It can only get out the system to process things you need across the system. Like say you have a containerized app that'll open up a text editor or something like that. Well then, you can do that, and yeah. So you can open up the containerized app, but it has access to those files on your system in order to be any good for you, like a text editor would have to be. So, yeah, that's what containerized means, basically. Limited access to your system. Yeah, I get that right, Pro? Hope so. Prophylactic. It's how you pronounce your screen name there. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, so let's go to installation distro and get started on this puppy, alrighty? Got a little time with us, so we're gonna get started on it and we'll get over there. So we'll go over there. Oh, I also meant to mention that I forgot to create my wait screen, so I didn't realize that until last minute. So I didn't have a wait screen. So anyway, we'll go over to the video and look at that. Alrighty. Oh, before we do that, I wanted to look at the we wanted to look at the website, of course, websites. So we'll do that first. Oh, website's closed out on me. Whoops. Well, I got links down in the description of the video for websites to go to, and it's pretty simple. You just go there, download, find your distro choice or your use case choice, like if it's standard desktop computer or if it's one of the more specialized options. Now you just use ISO on there for you to download 86 ISO, and it's all right there. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Just scroll through it and look it over, and then you make your choice and download what you need. And that's what I did, and I put it on my Ventoy app. I mean, my Ventoy stick here, USB stick, which we're going to plug in over here. Oops. And probably cut this. Oh, some in it. Yep, says prophylactic. I'm sorry, I can't really talk real clearly sometimes. So anyway, mount and open. Yep. Alrighty. So we got that plugged into our system, and we can go work on it. Alrighty. Also, I wanted to one of the link down there is for a description of how to use the system. If you want to follow along with that, you can on the screen side by side or something like that. So, but anyway, I'm going to be going through the different operating ways you can use MicroOS, because you have to learn how to use it. It's a little different in that regard, but we'll go through it. So, yeah, so we'll go down here. Now we're on our, yeah, I just put that in there, didn't I? I gotta go over here. There we go. Got my mouse on right one. Alrighty, so now we got that. Now what's on here right now is my openSUSE Sleep, the most recent version of it, 15.4 I think it is, or something like that. 15.1, some, I don't remember what it was, but anyway. So it's Leap on here right now, and I'm about to destroy Leap. Put MicroOS on here. So let's get rolling on that. Says updates, but we're not worried about updates now since we're about to wipe out those whole system, I think. All right, so first thing we need to do is reboot this puppy. Restart. Okay. And then we go up here to we go down to our options. Check the scan disk. Bring us up to this, and we have line right there. Now I noticed the one I installed out in my living room. I already installed this out in my living room. Pack computer, added NVIDIA driver and everything else like that. But it had a problem, which I'll go over if this one has the same problem. It may not. May fix it since it's a later version of the ISO, but we'll find out pretty soon, I think. Hopefully, they don't have any other problems. Installation, yep. Loading kernels, and away we go. Now, this first part of the installation just goes through several basic driver things. Don't do anything else until you get to the welcome screen, which they welcome you by, of course, giving you a thing to sign, basically. What's the thing? It's not a thing. It's can't think of the term for it. Anyway, it's a license agreement, basically. And basically, it's I guess, to protect their own rears and stuff like that. Things of that nature. Can't go do this, that, the other thing with it. It tells, of course, includes open source licensing. Well, because everything on MicroOS is pretty much open source except for certain necessary functions that have to do. I guess maybe something like that. I think it's all open source, isn't it? Rip leap. Prophetic. Prophetic. Oh, like prophetic. Got it. Okay, so no leap, rip leap. Yep, rip and leap up here. So, way it just goes all so it gets the license welcome screen. It just takes a while for that to happen, but it shouldn't be too much longer. And what I'm installing is Acer Aspire 5, Thin 5, and it's got Radeon 3 and Ryzen 3 for a CPU, Radeon for graphics card. So here we are, the license agreement. What you do here, also got where you set your oh yeah, I can't remember now. I got to use my touchpad because of course I don't have barrier on here now, or it's not active at least. It's still on there, but I'm about to wipe it out anyway. So up here you have your language and keyboard layouts, and your type in things here to make sure everything works okay. And here you have a license agreement. So if you agree to this, you say next. If you don't agree to it, you say abort and get out of here. Okay. So we got that. Now this is a little bit difficult part because if you have Wi-Fi, you have to know what to click on to get it activated and stuff. So what you want to do is make sure one that you're clicked on there that defaults to the Wi-Fi if you have it. Then you go down here to edit. Enter your name of your network name, like in my case, whatever the router says, whatever the router set to. Couple. Bam. What my router set to. And also you got to choose network over here, which I haven't tried that, but I guess it would pop up on all the lists of like you'd expect on all the available options you have. Down here you got WebKey, you can type it in or you can go over there, whatever you want to do. Now here you have a web open. Now this isn't the automatic one that most people use, I think. I think mine uses WPA PSK. Might also use some other ones. I don't know, shared key, like a web shared key, something like that. I think this is one mine uses though. And your password. Oh, it's gonna block it. Yeah, it does. your router's password. Now it'll confuse you because it's not connected down there. If I enter the password in wrong for some reason, it would show it. It wouldn't show it, but it's got a MAC address. That's a good sign. So yeah. Once you've done that, hit next. You'll be able to tell whether it's connected or not, because the next part is connecting up with your network. Activate network services. Look like it connected up with everything. Got a right host name and DS configuration, set up network services. Activate network services now. The key part where it might have a problem if you enter the wrong password or something, your password wasn't exactly correct. So wait in anticipation. Oh, there it goes. So it looks like it went through. Yeah. Okay, now you're at the next step. Yeah, if you did enter it, no matter, it'll go through and then you just have to update it later on when you do get your network manager in, you can set the right password. Okay, so you have all these options of how you can install, what you're going to use it for. So your first option is just for single purpose systems and optimized for large deployments. Well, I don't have a large deployment here. It's just one computer that I'm putting it on, so that's not it. It's container host for hosting container workloads. Nope, not going to do that. I mean, we're going to have containers and stuff like that, but it's not really for workloads type thing, so no, we don't want that. MicroOS Desktop GNOME or Micro Desktop KD Plasma Alpha Stage. Now, I've heard other people have success. I tried to install it. If you notice on my last live stream MicroOS, I tried to install KDE first. It didn't work. But I've heard people have had success with that now, so I want to try KDE. Your fingers crossed. Yeah, that's what Proleptic. In case you don't know Proleptic, he's involved, I guess, in some way with the openSUSE project, MicroOS Desktop. He can tell you more about that, but anyway, he can give some hints and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I do. Skip the network config on the installer. Yeah, that's what he does. He doesn't bother with that, but that's how you do it if you want to. So yeah, and the only question mark is that I type in the password correctly. So then you have a couple other options out here. Our MicroOS remote attestation agent. I don't know what that is exactly, but it's some specialized thing in that agent and verifier. So yeah, so we won't worry about those. So we'll go with that. I'm gonna try. Excuse me, while I have to deal with this touchpad. Anyway, macro. Let's see, we got MicroOS, KDE Plasma. We're gonna try it first and see if it works. Okay, now there's your NTP server or your time processor, basically synchronizing. Excuse me. Damn, my throat seems to be getting a little bored. I know this is not ideal today, but hopefully it'll work with it anyway. Yeah, that's your time. It synchronizes your time with the internet service, so that's what that is. And so you usually just accept the default. Don't worry about it. Then you have this is to create a new user. All right, we'll do that. Again, skip new user correction down there at the bottom, right down there. If you so desire, but most people need to put a user in of some kind, so my full name, Rick Koppel. Rick is normally the username I use, yep. Enter password. Okay, the system for password administrator. Yeah, let's do that. And import data, user data from previous installation. Nope, we're wiping out the previous installation, so that either. Besides, we have a home directory. That's my special thing. I have a separate disk with my home directory on it on this computer. And the base installation is installed on the one of those NV cards or something like that. So you'll see when we get that. That's all we're going to select there. And we go here. This is your installation settings, what it's going to do to you. Now, part I don't remember going through is the guided partition. But I think because it may be different from regular openSUSE in that regard, because I guess I've only been to this one or two other times, so I don't remember it specifically, but if it happened this way every time. But I think because it needs to be the only system on the operation. It's another thing you can't really. I don't think you can check me if I'm correct on this proleptic, but I think it's propetic. Anyway, so I think if you can't really install it alongside of another distro, basically is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, that probably why it doesn't give you any options. It just deletes all partitions that you currently have, and it's going to install, create new stuff on it, which is what I want to have happen. Yep. So we're going to do that. Leave that there. It's ideal. There's another one that had a guided tour which you could take if you wanted. So if you guided tour, guided installation. So if you want to install alongside and stuff, all that stuff, it guides along. Plus it says keeps the defaults. Don't bother MicroOS. Doesn't use swap and tour either, so no need to fuss. Yeah, so it skips that whole section where you pick what disk you want to install on. Pick the right disk, the NV disk, so that's good. SCA1 is my where I have all my home directory stuff. I'll show how to fix that in a minute, but well, I probably won't do it right away, just because you don't want to mess with the system too much. So you just accept all the defaults on here pretty much, and there you go. Anyway, that's summary. It tells you if you needed to change something, like you really had to change something, just click on these connections here. You see, it doesn't even have the edit symbol out here, which you would normally have on these things. So I don't know what happens. What happens if you click on, like, say, time zone? Oh, it takes you to time zone collection. Now you really don't need to do this, but I'm just showing you how to do it in here, because you have to do it again when you boot up on it, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, that's how you edit those things if you need to edit anything. Matter of fact, I could go back probably to the by clicking on partition up here, I could go back there and get to that part of it, but I don't want to do that. So we'll just go install and install. Now we wait for it to install. This is the long part of it, basically. So we'll install everything just like that. In some ways, it's easier to install than the normal one because you skip certain parts, like where to install all the stuff on what disk and what partitions you want to use, all that kind of stuff. It all makes it side easy for you. Don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so anyway, installing, it'll take a little while to install this, I guess. Depends on how fast your hardware is and all that kind of stuff. This Acer is a medium range, I guess. It's got like 4 cores, I think. So it's got, I don't remember what speed it does it on, but right. It's got 4 cores at least, I know that much. So it runs pretty fast, decently fast, I guess. Oh, this uses pretty much free, open source, free and open source packages. Now, Flatpaks itself is probably has some proprietary parts to it. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, or if you know prophetic, but prophetic. Somebody's texting me. I don't bother with that, but I probably look because they expect usually text. Matter of fact, I had it back there charging so that it would up to 100%, so I need to leave it off. No, okay, no big deal. No wait. All right, looks like it's creeping along pretty fast here. Faster than regular installation. Yeah. Our prophetic says yes, some Flatpaks use proprietary code. Yep, sure enough. I knew some of that. As far as the operating system itself, open source is the goal and key for that. Matter of fact, if you wanted to, even on regular openSUSE, you have to add in some repositories, the Pac-Man repositories, I think, in order to get stuff that isn't open source. Sometimes you need that stuff, so most people end up adding those repositories anyway. Yeah. And saving configuration, saving installation settings. It's almost done. It's almost done. Install boot manager. Oh, it's got to do that. So usually one of the last things most distros do on these installations is install boot manager. Hey, we didn't have that problem that I had before. System will now reboot, it says. All right, let's reboot and see what we got. What's cooking on the puppy. And openSUSE MicroOS. 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Yeah, we gonna have this pop up here in a few seconds, I'm pretty sure. The display manager, or more appropriately, the login manager is what you should call it. It might eventually, sometimes on these first things, they take a little while to get going in first run of it. So yeah, but it usually pops up faster than this, at least on the computer out there. It does. Matter of fact, it got so fast on reboots, it like fly through everything pretty quick. But it's got its beginning, first time use processes to go through here, so it's probably thinking about all that stuff and what I want to do. If I remember right, I think openSUSE has some setup options later on. Hmm. Okay. Like we're getting cooking finally. And we're at our display manager. We're at copy selected. Click in there to get in there. Notice we're on Plasma X11. I think it has a Wayland, but I think it defaults to X11. Let me check. Just put it all of a sudden there. Yeah, it's got Wayland in there, but I'm going to stick to X11 for now. And we have a little gecko and the light bulb logo lighting up here. And we're here. You provide password for the wireless network. Yeah, see, I didn't provide the right password for it, apparently. so it's still not operational. Yeah, it gives you a chance to connect up here. So let's do this without problem. I know I did wrong. Okay. The notification says I'm connected. Yeah. Connection. I'm connected to my network. Yay. So one of the cool things about this is it's got automatic updates built in. Matter of fact, you pretty much need to do it automatic. You can do it, but you have to do it a certain way if you want to do it. So it's all in Firefox now. I don't even show that on my screen. So yeah, I don't know why, but it didn't show it. So anyway, showing it on the video card feed though. Probably using a second. Oh yeah, you have to like set this for. Yeah, I gotta reset this so that it show the both screens in one thing. And basically what it did is because I have plugged in HDMI over here on this computer, it's divided the screen up. This is like second screen, that's first screen. So it's running this on first screen. And I need to do that while it's doing its thing. Okay. Replica of built-in screen. Apply. Now you see everything's going on. Now I can see everything's going on this screen as well as that screen. So yeah. Notice installing Firefox, installing things up here, installing calculators, installing all the apps you need. It's a very minimalistic system. I think what it's doing is installing most apps through Flatpaks. Pretty much probably all of it, I'm sure. So you'll have a Flatpaks operating system for the most part. Yeah, Prophetic says he uses X11 too. Looks good. Yeah, so it's installing stuff you'll need on your system right up there. At any rate, what I would probably do at this point, although I'm not going to do it here, I would install Barrier and I would go and change my home directory over to my SSD that my home directory is actually on. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to screw up anything or mess up anything for this, but I'll show you how to do that afterwards. I'm going to do it a little flat later on in the system, I think. All right, another drink. Boy, you wouldn't think installing a calculator would take that long to still installing a calculator. Well, it is moving, isn't it? Seem to be stuck at 42%. There's the cancel button there. Oh, there it goes. Kind of went through. So let's see what it's put on the system, huh? Okay, it's got Dolphin, 8, system settings, console, which is your terminal, Kate, your text editor, and those are your favorite sections up here. Development, you got your Kate text editor. Your next got Firefox web browser. Settings, well, it's got all the system settings on there, I guess. Yeah. System. Yes, it's Discover. Dolphin, File Manager, Info Center, Console, Wallet Manager, Menu Editor, Terminal Super User Mode. They all those options you use. So anyway, we're going to show you how to install things and how to do things on the system. Because obviously you're going to need more what the programs you use, right? So we're going to go into that. And one of the ways that you can do this, and it's a preferred way, is to install Flatpaks. Now, if you go to Discover Software Center, yeah, of course, first use time usually takes a little longer to load these up because it's got to get all the apps in and stuff like that. So anyway, there's your apps. Color Paint. Want a paint program? There you go, Krita. Krita is one I tend to use a lot because it's got a lot of options and stuff in it. And it's a good program to use. And you got K-Paste and Solitaire Card. You got all the stuff. Now, if you wanted something specific, like say I wanted LibreOffice here, then I always go over there because I'm used to using that mouse for that. So then you go up here to search, type in LibreOffice, and Libre Wolf Office. Different whole thing all together. There you go. There's LibreWolf. Now, I could install it here, or you can install it through Terminal. If you're a Terminal aficionado, wanting to use that method, you can install it there. So the first method is to use Flatpaks. You notice all these things on the Discover thing use Flatpaks. So you can look there to see if it's available for you to look. I am curious if you can use MicroOS text editor. Where's the home? There you go. Micro. Text. It doesn't appear to have micro text editor per se. So what you have to do is you have to install the second way. The other way you can do it is this installation process, which is actually something you can do for other purposes. Another thing that's use Distrobox. So if you don't have it in here, the next option is use Distrobox. Distrobox, you ask? Good. So here in just a second. But anyway, I want to show you first before we do that, show you how we can use the terminal to install apps from Flatpaks. It's pretty simple actually. So let's see. I'm want to use my normal methods here to their site. So you go up here and hit close, and then we hopefully open the terminal. That's one thing. A lot of these distros don't have a terminal and already not marked in. You know, where you just press the shortcut key for it. I don't know why. We're going to raise this up. There you go. You can see what I'm doing there. So anyway, we got that. Now Flatpak, and all you have to do is like Flatpak. We want to install LibreOffice. Libre Wolf, I mean. Okay, oh yeah, we gotta enable the Flatpaks first probably. And I have a way to do that, but have to do it anyway. Anyway, you enable Flatpaks. Flatpak. Alright, let's see if I remember the whole thing. I remember flat packs, add repo. Then you do if no non-exist, I guess. If it doesn't exist, won't do this basically. And flat hub, HTTP, and it's flat hub. We lost your memory, so hopefully I'm right. Or I think I'm doing pretty good. Org, leaving it. Repo, flat hub, dot, flat pack, repo. Oh, that's not a. Probably just need to do without the hyphen. A lot of that are hyphen thing, but some don't. And repo. That's not right either. Okay, so I gotta figure out what that is. Maybe there's no flat. Maybe there's no add repo. Maybe. Probably not. But usually these things all have one connectors or something for it. Not sure. Add not 500. Did you mean mass? Nope. Okay, so what to do here? Flat pack. Help. Help, help. Okay, let's see. We got here. And it is. Oh, it's remote add. Okay, that's what it's remote add. That's why I wasn't finding anything on that. So, yeah. And now we got password. Fill up, I think. Okay, so now we should be able to just do flat pack. And do a add all. Need very well. Now, the user, I think, is what we want here probably. Since this is not going to go on the system anyway, so. Okay. Yes, I want that. Flat hub user. Any changes? Yes. And then install it. So it's that simple. Once you enter that Flatpak, enable Flatpak repo though, all you have to do from now on is enter Flatpak install. Then you enter the name. Now, if you know the whole full org name, like it's all these notes over here, it's IO GitLab LibreWolf. That's the actual name. So if you know that name, you can put it all in that way and say install Flatpak install. So you miss some of the screen, but if you just have LibreWolf in there, it'll still search and do a search for it and give you options. You can select one, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But anyway, it says it's installed. So now, but one thing you have to know to do this thing I always forget about on these things is that MicroOS does what's called sessions, which most all distros do, but it has a session that it operates on when it does these installs and things like this. Then it won't get activated until you reboot. Then it goes to the next session and you get that. So Well, the thing I always have to remember is to reboot right after I install something because I forget and then it will work and I'll go, wow, this one will work, kind of thing. But sometimes Flatpaks work, sometimes they don't. But it's best to go do a reboot anyway. Which you can do, you can just do a reboot right in the terminal and it'll reboot, or you can go down into the normal process like I did before and go to the menu and select log out or reboot, restart from there. One thing here is you gotta remember you gotta enter in your password again. Okay. Now it's rebooting, yay. Yes, I was, but then I figured it out. Oh, if you install Flatpak, you don't need to reboot. What Prophetic says. Good to know. I think I look, but sometimes it seems like I need to do it anyway, so who knows. Okay, password. What does that mean? I have to okay, good. Have the settings for display manager. Yay. I was afraid there for a moment I don't have to. Okay, so anyway, now you go down, or put it in, you can go down earlier in that. Internet section, you should have LibreWolf. LibreWolf. And it works, I hope. It always works before. So there's LibreWolf. Yay. So that's how you do that. And you can install Flatpaks through the command line, or you can just install it through Discover, because hit install would have been simpler. It had been done like that. After I put in my password, of course. But sometimes Discover is picky about things. And also, I like to see all the details on it so I know what if there's any errors or anything like that. It'll show up in the terminal. It won't show up on. It'll just pop up a window that says there is a problem in putting your thing on. That's it. So, so yeah. Well, that's Flatpak. Now that's the first preferred way to install any program. So that's the first thing you go to is check out if it is in a Flatpak. If it's not in a Flatpak, next option is to go to Distrobox. What's Distrobox, you ask? Well, let's find out. A Distrobox basically, it's unique in that it installs distro, a containerized version of a distro onto your machine. You can install. Now, if you don't put any particular one you want, it'll choose your current distro and install a copy of it in there. And yeah, you can install as many of them as you want, as long as much as you have space for and that kind of thing. But yeah, so anyway, how do you do that? Well, this unfortunately is a totally command line option. So I'll have to go to that. Here, and console, back up there, and increase that size. We're here. So now Distrobox. And if you just type in Distrobox, then H, I think, help. So it gives you basically choose one of the available commands: create, enter, list, RPM, stop, upgrade, serial. Interesting. Generate entry and version. So anyway, what you want to do first, you want to create a distro. So Distrobox. And I think I've seen different things in this part of it where you can specify N, which is name for your distro box. So we put Debian, and then was it the V or what's the other one? I can't remember what it was. another flag you can put on there. I think it's I or V or something like that. No prophetic knows, so he can tell me. Sure. Yeah, what you can do if you get lost like this and you can go to Distrobox. You enter in help. I for install. Okay, yeah. Alrighty. Got it. So anyway, you can, if you don't put any install, it'll default to your current terminal. Was but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to screw it up to that much. But anyway, yeah, if you help and enter, I think is how that. Nope, you have to do it the other way around probably. Distrobox. Help. Then I give you all the details on how you do that. So there's N for name up there. You see right there? N for name or dot dot dash dash name, the full thing. And if that helps, this is all small. I'll just do this option. Maximize it. There, ready to go. That's easier to read, isn't it? So yeah, you go down there and you get all the different versions and things you can do with that. Then list install is one of the options, oddly enough. Unless it's up there. Oh, it's up there somewhere. Name Fedora 35 bash. Popeye container bash. Yeah, enter. Oh, that's enter. Yeah, that's what enter was help enter. So anyway, I for install, just remember that I means install. Yeah. I could just enter another version of this, and it would enter tumbleweed is what it entered. If I didn't enter any, excuse me. If I didn't enter in any distro, I'd enter in tumbleweed as a default because MicroOS is based on tumbleweed basically. So that's an installation that it has on it basically behind the scenes. Howdy. I'm going to make you moderator. Better for temporary purposes. I can get my cursor over here. You can help anybody out or whatever that has problems or not sure that is. It looks like a weird screen name. Could just be a different language or it could be just troll, who knows. So hello anyway, whoever you are out there. Can't read your name, so I don't know what it's to call you or anything, but at any rate, welcome aboard. You can watch as we go. So we can we're in the middle of doing a Distrobox, so yeah, distro created pro. Anyway, we're gonna enter in Distrobox and Distrobox. No, not enter yet. Just create. I install. We're gonna install Fedora. I mean, not Fedora, but we're gonna install. We'll install Debian 10. How about that? I mean, not Debian 10, but Debian 11. Yeah, that's all the future Debian for. And then we do name. We'll call it Debian with capital D. So yeah, it installs Debian on the system. Woohoo! So this is helpful, especially if you have a certain app who is in the repositories of your yeah, is in the repositories of your current distro that you're in. Like say openSUSE doesn't have some distro point like some obscure thing that Debian does. And you create a Debian or Fedora or whatever. It's a whole list of them you can create like that. So yeah, so anyway, let's check it out, huh? Do that, you just what it says right there, Distrobox, enter Debian. So it starts up Debian and it runs pretty easy. The easiest way to install a distro on your computer, actually. Distrobox, check it out, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I tried actually installing window managers of this. I didn't quite make it. Just like this close. But yeah, I can't get MicroOS to see the desktop entry for it. So container set complete. Yay. Okay, so it's set up and it's ready to roll now. Now how do you know it's Debian? Well, let's do this sudo apt. Hard to type in this thing. This angle. Apt update. Okay, so we got bullseye, so we're in 11 like we specified. Excellent. So if you want to install a package here, you install it like you would on any Debian system. Then you want to install Distrobox. No, not install Distrobox here. They will install MicroOS here. Since we didn't seem to have it in Flatpaks. Didn't seem to. I maybe didn't look hard enough or something, but just assume we can't find it in Flatpaks. Try here. So I think you can do a search on it. So the apt search micro. Well, I have a lot of options for this, but so we have to like go up to where my M's are. Micro. Yes, there it is, micro, just modern and intuitive terminal-based text editor. That's what we're looking for. It's just micro, so just take this and install. And mission that it says. That open the lock. Yeah, you normally on those you can just delete the lock or something like that, but I'm not sure this works. Anyway, most of the time you'll be able to install packages like that. Oh, yeah, Prophetic says it's going to run, but be back soon. Great job getting things up and running and easy to follow along. That's cool. Anyway, I think if you just unlock front end or something, but yeah, you'd have to Google, and I don't want to take time to Google that option. Figure out how to do that part. So what you have to do is you do Google cannot open log file Probably some part of this does that. Lock dash front end dash open. Permission denied. Oh, it may be, I didn't do sudo. That's part of the problem. Helps you to sudo. That's like being in Debian. If you don't put sudo in front of it and install, it's not going to work. You do, yes. And if you do put sudo in front of it, it works. Yay. Glad I figured that out before I mess with things too much. So sudo apt blah blah blah. Debian. Some of you probably know. Put sudo in front, put sudo in front of it. See, right? See. So that's how you install that. Then you have MicroOS. Now you can do it here, like say micro. Let's see what text. Open up micro. Hello world. Hello world. I'm gonna save that. File name is gonna be Rick. Now the interesting thing about these Distroboxes, if I'm correct, Rick, hello, text. We're saving this thing. Saved it somewhere. Yeah, we'll find out here in a minute. Now, what's an interesting thing about Distrobox is that you need to be aware of. It has its own file system, but it also uses your home directory in your MicroOS home directory. So it does that. So we should that should have saved it to our home directory on my MicroOS install as well. They use the same functionality apparently. So then you for quit. I believe it is. Oh no. The Control Q, I think. Yeah. Control Q exits out of it. Yeah, I haven't used MicroOS a whole ton, so I'm not as familiar with that as I am with Nano, but I want to show you how to do this MicroOS. So yeah, if you do ls, we see all your documents. There's Rick hello text right there. Now if we if we exit this, now one other thing we need to, I'll show you on this before I exit this Distrobox. I could be exiting, re-entering, all that kind of stuff. But certain commands that you can use is just play on that web page I told you about down in the links. Anyway, the first thing you need to do is you have your Distrobox. Lost my train of thought. Sorry. I do that sometimes. The process of getting old, I think. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, you have your Distrobox, and almost had it. I was gonna say. At any rate, maybe I'll think of it in a minute. What I was gonna tell you, but yeah. So you have this Debian and Distrobox we have, and so you saw how I installed MicroOS and all that. So how? Oh yeah. That's well. Yeah, we needed to export this. I want to show you how to export it. Right. So what you do is you do Distrobox. Export. It'll help. So okay. Now here's where you distro box. Oh yeah, well So obviously I'm going to find those kind of things. It saws Distrobox in here, so Distrobox is in here, I believe, which that's strange. I always thought I installed it. Anyway, there's a way you can enter in a command you can enter in outside of it to access it inside. What you have to remember is this is a containerized. So any program you install in here isn't automatically accessible to the outside world, outside of this box, this Debian system here, until you do a special command. You also can enter, I thought, a Distrobox command inside the box, which would allow you to export it out to your menu. So you'd have it in your menu if you wanted to go to run MicroOS out of Distrobox. Well, they have to remember in those cases that it always goes back to your Debian. You're in Debian when you do that, even if you aren't in Debian when you enter in the command. So we'll show that here since we can't show it here, so we'll go back there. So, yeah. I hope I'm not mixing up these commands and stuff, but I think there's certain ones that are available inside and certain ones are available outside. Exit. We're back to our MicroOS situation here. So if you do ls here, you see brick hello text is still there. Even though it's in, so use the same home directory as what you're currently using. And also it has its own file system inside the distro box. Not too shabby, huh? So now let's look at this. We have yeah, I gotta be out of here at 1 sharp pretty much, or hopefully I'll be done by then. But so anyway, we got Distrobox, and then you have your, say you want to run MicroOS on the file. So like say I want to do a rec hello text there. So I would go Distrobox. See. Remember how to do that. Okay, enter list. List will enter RM removes, stops, upgrade, generate entry version. I don't remember exactly how to, oh, I think, oh yeah, I remember now. So you do box, enter. And here's where we need some help. Why? Okay, so I'm going to use a certain app. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, so you list, basically you list the name of your, so you list Distrobox. Enter. Name. Capital D, Debian. Do 2 hyphens and another space. Let's start micro. Thanks. Yeah, let's just do this micro only. Do your micro. Now this will launch your macro, just like that in Debian. But now you're in Debian, you're not in. Since it's in there, once you exit out of this one program you have on here, you go back to the door, or I mean your MicroOS host system. So So say you want to load that, then you go file. And that's something else. Oh, that's a terminal thing there. I don't remember what to load. Oh yeah. Anyway, I'm not here. This is an instruction I use MicroOS, so like I said, I'm not as used to that as I am to Nano. I could install Nano on here because that's doing the same thing, but that's another case situation I don't want to use. So ProQ. See, now you're back in your local host. So I went in Distrobox and went in Debian and ran macro automatically. One app. That's how you can do that on. You could create a menu item with that in it. That would do the trick, or something like that. If you want a MicroOS to run, any Debian thing. The only thing you have to remember is you're actually Debian, but you're using your same home directory. So whatever you save and put on your home directory, there for you. In any case, or you can, or we could go here, and I don't remember. I think Cade is on here, so we wanted to go to Dolphin here, and we could double click on Hello Rick. I think it'll put in Cade probably. There you are, Rick. Hello world. Yeah. So there, that's how you work that, and that's how you use Distrobox. Now, let's say you have a situation where you, let's say Neofetch, for instance. Well, you can install Neofetch on, I don't think it's on the repositories FlatHub. Check real quick and find out, but we're just going to assume for a moment it's not in Flatpak. I don't think it is, but I'm not sure, so check that out if you wanted to. But anyway, Neofetch is probably, it's not automatically installed on here, like Nano isn't either. Vim is, if you like Vim, then you use that, but I think for Nano, you want to use it like in certain situations where you'd have it easily available for this system instead of going in Debian. That you can't really use Nano very effectively for for system files like you're editing etc etc files, where most of your configuration files for your system are at. If you have to edit a configuration file, you can't use Nano unless you edit it in the outside of Distrobox. So what do? Well, because you can't really install programs out of this. But so if you're in that situation, you need Nano. Like you can't stand Vim or whatever, and you don't like all those weird things, you don't know how to use Vim, that kind of stuff, you don't have time to learn that kind of thing, then you can install Nano on your system. Or Neofetch. So yeah, I don't know if Nano's in flat pubs either, since it's all kind of a, so let's go. So next thing you need to learn about is transactional updates. Now, that's the name of a program actually in there. And you also want to only use this under the last option when you don't have any other way to do it, basically. So you can't go in and bork your system up using transactional updates if you so desire to do that. Just remember, every time you do transactional updates, you're running risk of borking your system if you do something in there that's screwy. Or and slash or if you do if If you do transactional updates, yeah. Or you will probably make it a less immutable system, which the whole point of MicroOS is be immutable. So you don't want to make it any less immutable than you have to, essentially. Sometimes you have to, like installing NVIDIA drivers. You can do that through using transactional updates. And I'll show you what I mean by that here in a minute. Excuse me. And anyway, transactional updates, they have their own system. And I remember what they are. Okay, we'll go help. It's not found. Oh no. Command not found. Hold on. Must have entered somewhere on there. Probably not transactional. Probably something different. That was transaction. Okay. That's something you have to install the system. Alrighty. We're having to do anything to install it. Did I? I just don't remember. Not sure. Well, anyway, you're supposed to be able to use this. Let me actually, oh. Yeah, you have to, this MicroOS came up immediately. Even though it's like installing it on a different distro. And when you install a distro, it's there available, but I'm not sure. There is something else you can use though, but it has a certain. It's not found either. What to make of that? Anyway, transactional update's supposed to be the tool to use on that. And yeah. Well, let me okay, yeah. You wanna pardon me for a minute? I'm gonna run in and go to my MicroOS install out there on the computer. Out there, just checking see if I'm correct and what if I did something wrong. I know it works out there. I'm doing it done out there. So hold on, maybe I'll be right back. Okay, I think I figured out what my problem was. I forgot to add sudo in again. Sudo's a lot of death to me sometimes, so sudo transaction. All right. Update. No, it's not plus, it's just transactional update. So I should find that now. I have it up on my screen there, so I'm going to go right in there and look real quick again and see what the commands are for this. And that way I won't have to password there. Quite correctly. There you go. Now, if you notice, as whoa, let me even clear my voice here. Okay, so we got this. And we have yeah, you can clean up, you can do a lot of stuff on here. You can what you want to do is you do TU. Now basically what it is T is that one of the easy ways to remember some of the stuff is that you use your zipper, which is your package manager command on openSUSE products. You use RPMs. So use zipper. It's almost like using zipper, except you just place transaction updates with zipper. I actually created some aliases on my machine in there for just TU, so I'd have easier time entering it, because transaction updates is easy to get confused when you're hearing a lot of words and stuff like that. So and you see you can call dupe, transaction updates called zipper dupe. It's kind of a wrapper, so to speak, for that. So, but it also will allow you to go into shells. So you see right there. Yeah, you can also open a shell, rewrite shell in a new snapshot before exit. So all these are happening in new snapshots. That's how updates do. It'll create a new snapshot of your system, and while you're running and operating on the current system, you'll be running your updates in the background. So then it updates the new snapshot that is not active yet, but it's new. And then when you reboot, it defaults to boot up in the new snapshot that's updated. So therefore, updates are a breeze on this thing. It's not, I mean, you don't ever even know when it happens. It just happens, and doo-doo, you're updated. It's just that simple. So that's the cool thing about this. I think I really like. And lazy man's way to do it, I guess. But sometimes you need lazy, especially when you're like me and I got 10 computers around here to try to update all the stuff with. Good to get some of them on automatic updates as much as possible. So, yeah, so I think what you do is you just do, see what we're going to do. We're going to install update transaction. Oh, yeah. So, you want to just do sudo transaction update install. Yeah, no. Call me back now. Okay, I didn't. Another thing I needed in here. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to check my list back here. package. Yeah, so what I need to do here, I need to, before installing, I need to put package, or you can just put in, you know, or it'll do that too. So it basically is like wrapper for zipper, basically. So update, package, install it. Okay, is it full package or is it? Destination URI. Why is it pointing back to my inventory disk? Weird. I'm retrieving files from openSUSE. Oh, I think maybe. Anyway, you can see it's installing it. So I install Nano. Installs it into your tumbleweed background. It's ready to go. So Nano. My text. Text. Whatever I call it anyway. Grace Hill, I think. Dot. Paste. Yeah, that's what I did. So Nano said, oh yeah, that's because transactional update, so you have to reboot before you use it. Way it goes. Okay. So you don't have to reboot on after you install Flatpaks, but you do have to reboot if you install anything by transitional updates like that. Let me get that. Alright, so we got transactional Nano. We are. Same thing opened up in the that's a long round to show you that, wasn't it? Anyway, that's how you install things, those transactional updates. Now you can get into the bash shell if you have more complicated stuff to do. So yeah, you can read about that more. But yeah, so if you want to do more, you can do shell. Takes you into shell, but it's kind of I mean, you don't see what directory you're actually in until you do something like the ls command, you know, somewhat where you're at, that kind of thing. So, but you can do your CDs in the bash shell, which you just enter transactional update shell. Or one thing I do have to tell you though, if you do something like you install a program like that, you install another program, first program's not going to be there when you reboot, as it overwrites the other program. So what you have to do is you have to enter -C continue, C for continue. So if you you install more than one program, you want to install 2 or 3 in one shot and then reboot, do that, but you have to put a C on the second, the third one, or how many ever you have after that. So it'd be sudo transactional update dash C space dash C space package pkg and space in at least, or install. You need one in or install, either one will work, and then space, and then the name you're installing. And then I haven't really tried that yet, so I don't know if it works. I assume it does, or I wouldn't have it there, right? So yeah, I mean, I think that's most of what I had for you for today. There's other things you can learn on this. There's a lot more. You can look on the links I gave you down below in the description. They'll give you more information on all that stuff. So that's MicroOS. Now, what use case do I see this used for? Because, well, there's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 I can think of right off the top of my head. First case would be I have a use case like if you're a developer and you want to run different things, different you do coding and that kind of thing, programming. You can see a use case for this because you could want to make sure it works in several distributions. Simple. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. When nature calls, you gotta go, especially if you have Parkinson's. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So what are you trying to do? Back. Oh, you're back. All right. Have you back? Yeah, I was trying to do transactional updates. Forgot sudo in it. So yeah, it's probably in Debian. That's what you need to do. Check that out pretty easy. But Debian, yeah, I'm trying to remember. The export command is what you. Yeah, I forgot to put sudo in front of transactional update, so it probably was problematic what I was doing there. Once I figured that out, it worked perfectly, just like you expect. So things proof. So anyway, we use cases. Yeah, that's what I was on. Sorry about that. So one use case would be for developers who want to run protect programs in different distros. You could use several containers. Some people put several of these containers, different distros on the machine, and then you can just easily log in, run your program, see if it works. That kind of thing. Okay, how well it installs, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. It'd be one use case. Another use case would be for IT professionals in an office situation. So they would because you want to be able to put some on somebody's computer that's going to stay working. And so you have a computer situation where you yeah, I went to the bathroom. Anyway, yeah. Computer situation where you want your operating people that are going to be using your operating system not go around and mess around in system borking things. You don't have to tell them about transactional updates or anything like that. Because they need something solved, they call you and they ask you and that kind of thing. Now, Say, well, I'm not an IT professional. I'm not going to do that. Well, maybe not, but you might know enough about Linux, especially after watching this, to to basically call on other people's computers and need help, like family members, grandmas, things like that. Who're just wanting to browse and do email and that kind of thing. So, and maybe the needs are slim. Maybe they want to do a word processor document occasion, that kind of stuff. Pretty simple to do, and it's pretty simple. Lots of flat pack. So, yeah, you install them. They're going to call you up and say, "I did something to my system. Oh no!" That kind of thing. They're going to get those calls very often with this. And the other nice thing about it is for those kind of people is that it'll automatically update the system. That's a cool thing. Like my son, he he had a computer with Arch on it, and I put Arch several times on his computer because he kept never updating his system. And of course, you have to update when you're using Arch quite a bit. So, yeah. So anyway, that's how you do all that. And like I say, you use flat packs primarily, then you use distro boxes if you can't use a flat pack. Then if it's something dealing with system settings, system things, now the two directories I found out that you can edit in your subsystem, your system is a root directory / root, actually spelled out root. It's like as a matter of fact, when you're in transaction update, if you do LS, so when you first get in, it'll list out your root's home directory on there. So you root, that /root, that directory is available for you to make changes in, and your etc directory. Yeah, etc /etc directory is the other root system you're able to edit in. That's basically because it has a lot of configuration files in it, and you need to be able to get in there and edit those on occasion. So, yeah. So you do all that. But, so if you have anything in user directory or var or any of those other type of directories, then the base of it is going to be, nope, you have to use transaction updates if that. You don't want to use those they're very sparingly. And so that's why it's good for people who don't have to mess with stuff too much. They don't like to tinker with their system, as they say. Yeah, so now that's kind of like on opposite end of the spectrum. Your IT professionals and your people over here. It saves a lot of time on that end, and your coders and all those kind of people. And you have your new users, those kind of things who don't know much about Linux, but they know how to press a button, how to click an icon, that kind of thing. So, yeah, you install it, and then you don't have to worry about unbolting the system or something like that so easily. And you get all the updates automatically, so you don't have to worry about that either. So that's cool. And let's see, the other system. Other use case is now somebody like me, I'm going to use it for my daily driver. Probably not, just because I like to be able to get into my system and tinker with stuff, test things out, do different things. Like I've been trying to install Window Manager on the computer out there just to see if I could do it, basically. Plus, I can easily reinstall that system out there if I need to. So if I bork system doing something, I'm not going to lose a bunch of data and stuff. I have to lose a little time because I have to reinstall system, reinstall NVIDIA driver, all that kind of stuff. But I do that all the time anyway. So yeah, that's what I do. So let's see. I think that's pretty much all I had. The use cases I would use for somebody like me would be uh, when I have other computers. Like I have like I said, I have 10 computers in my house operating right now. And they're always on all the time, but anyway, and so the more of those I can have automatically update, the better it is for me. It's one less machine I have to worry about. I just check it every once in a while, make sure everything's cooking fine on it occasionally, that kind of thing. But yeah, now some computers I probably couldn't put MicroOS on, like I got an old, I could try. I don't know, maybe it'll work, who knows, but Anyway, yeah, when I did my cars install video back in, been a while, sometime last year, I think. So I got on this old, one of my first laptops I ever installed Linux on. Yeah, back in 2011, I think is when I installed it on there originally, or 2010, one of those 2 years. But yeah, so I think maybe that's all I got to say on that. So those are use cases if you have. So I'm almost on the verge now. Linux Mint does have automatic updates, and that's good for them too. But sometimes the automatic updates don't go as planned. So this might be a better option for you to install on somebody who doesn't know Linux very well, because they can learn the basics. They know how to push an icon, they know menu system. So KDE works pretty good on this, so far as I can tell. Certain things you aren't going to be able to do on it. You aren't going to be able to theme this effectively. They have some themes and stuff, and they're working on that more, I think. But right now, I think the theming on KDE is limited. What you can download, because you can't download things into your system files easily. So all the convenient download functions they have on there may not work. But like you want to download some more additional wallpapers, you can do that pretty easy on KDE. But maybe not on MicroOS KDE, because I don't know if it even works yet. We can try it out and see what happens. So let's do that real quick. And we'll go back over here and I'll just try that out to see what happens. Dum 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 dum. So, oh, yeah. That's one of the first thing I need to do is I turn off this thing here. Okay, so close that out. Now we're back here. And what we're gonna do? Oh yeah, we're gonna go settings. And we're gonna go to theming, appearances. Now here's the sets that are available for you to theme. First, let's see if you can change your theme this way. Following will be applied by the global theme, appearance setting. Desktop window layouts will place utility. Okay. Freeze twilight. Freeze dark. I'll tell more. Yeah. You can change this for well. If you want to get some new global themes, that works. Question point. I don't know if it'll work or not, because I'm not sure I will install this. Might. Apple logo has a lot of proprietary stuff in here. Don't worry about this one. Let's say we want to install this one. And see what happens. Whether it works or not. Taking time is probably going to come back error, so you can't install or something. Let's use. Okay. See if the download works. Apply. Change everything but the wallpaper. Seemed to work basically. Basically, I say. Added. Try and install the wallpaper. I think I have one. openSUSE default icon. There's K, which is something I don't care for. This said new paper and see if it would work. Darth Vader icon. Darth Vader wallpaper. So we have it's not showing up, but maybe I have to reboot and show it. But I don't think it shows up yet. Yeah, so the wallpapers are automatic. You probably stuck with these unless you have your own images. You can add an image through here if you have your own images, that kind of thing. So yeah. Otherwise, I don't think you can download new wallpapers unless we reboot it real quick and go from there, see if it registers. I don't know what it does. Restart. Okay, we'll see if it does that or not. Right. Well, you know what? I never put on my light. That's one other thing I forgot. My light ring isn't on, so I'm half in shadow here. This last moment I'll put it on. Ta-da! I'm not as much in shadow. Anyway. Password. Oh, change display manager too. Wow, look at that. That's from the Nordex, I think. It's not Darth Vader for sure. Oh, Nordex version. Check that out real quick. Oh, it did. Okay. Now I had this round thing that it did on there. Put it in your wallpaper. There's your Darth Vader. Yeah, you have to remove it, but it works. I don't know where this wallpaper's coming from. Cool, but I don't see it in here. Okay, well. Dun 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 dun. There's Darth Vader helmet, so it does work to download web wallpapers. At least this one worked. I think you had to find a not complicated wallpaper, but it worked all right. So there you are. MicroOS system tuned to your liking. So yeah. I guess that's it. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you like it. And subscribe down below if you want to. And that's pretty much all I have for today. So hope you have happy sailing with MicroOS. If you decide to use it, it's not a system. If you just want a system that works and that kind of thing, it updates itself automatically. All this kind of thing, you don't have to worry about it. It's Microsoft Desktop, not Microsoft, what am I saying? MicroOS Desktop. There you go. So anyway, may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.